Hey, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casting. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS Weekly Report where today we're going to be talking about Complexity making a major change to their roster and another team kind of eating off of it, and find out exactly what we can expect out of both of these rosters going forward. So just to kind of give you a reminder of Complexity's roster, we'll look at this one right here. They were able to take 6 wins off of Shopify Rebellion, by the way, which I think is really good for Complexity, and it was Cycle, Jazero, Septify, and Tusk. Interesting roster here. You had Cycle, the only remaining member from Complexity coming from last year. His coach described him as one of the most annoying players in the game, the way he's able to pick and prod and stay alive. He almost kind of like maybe like a Pistola type player, if you want to have some kind of comparison of key piece to the puzzle. Jazero was a play caller for Fnatic, him and Septify coming from that Fnatic roster, and I think that was the duo that really worked when you saw Fnatic make that run at Worlds, which nobody expected, by the way. They looked so good and were able to come out with some major wins and get a better placement than anybody had expected out of them, largely because of Septify and Jazero coming in. Septify, that main slayer. Whenever you look at the stats, my man was always putting in the damage. Every single time in the stat sheet, he was the leading slayer, leading damage dealer, a key piece to that Fnatic puzzle as well. And then finally, you have Tusk, who was the most interesting player coming out. Though he had a stint with Space Station Gaming for a bit, but he was more recently found coaching that FaZe roster, but now decided, hey, he chucked the clipboard away. He said, I'm done with this coaching stuff. I want to get back to my roots. I want to get back to playing. And he's still a dominant player in the scene. Some might say, I think I heard some say that he had one of the best long-range shots in the game, and that's kind of like his bread and butter, which I always found kind of interesting. This last scrim, you had Septify with the big 283 kills, 97 assists to go along with it. Jazero not too far behind him with the 251, and Cycle rounding out with the 240. Love the assist out of Cycle. Oh my gosh, 154 assists with 240 kills. I like that, actually. And then when we looked at the distribution of like ball time and flag, you had a pretty balanced attack. 75 seconds, 91 seconds, 79, and 73. So a pretty balanced attack coming out of Complexity. And then even in the capture the flag stats, you have Jazero, I guess, being that main player getting the grabs, 32 grabs, where a player like Septify only having 10. Definitely the biggest when it came to the flag game. So now the question becomes, who's the player that's left out? So let's answer that question here, because in the most recent scrim, which was literally just 2 days ago, if you're watching live, they're playing against Arctic Boom, Monster, and Rami, and we don't have Septify in here. Instead, we have Suppress. So them getting rid of their main slayer in Septify, because I believe this was a drop. To my now, this hasn't been confirmed or not. All we know is that Septify had tweeted out that he was a free agent. I believe the team had dropped him, but I don't have any word about that. But they're bringing in Suppress right away. And if this was a drop, and Suppress is coming in so quickly after the announcement, something tells me that this was planned, this was thought about, this was, I don't want to say calculated, but this was a situation where maybe they said, we want to bring Suppress in, we really do, we think we're good with Septify, but we think we could take that next step with Suppress. So one of the players from the original French Toast Mafia, Monster, Rami, Suppressed, and Gilkey, was that original team. They go at it, and let's see what the scrims look like. Again, 6-2 in favor of Complexity, which is really good, by the way. French Toast Mafia, again, at least half of it from the original roster was that same roster that upset SSG, same roster that upset Optic. They even upset Native Red as well. So that's 3 big wins, but only half the roster remain, and one of the key pieces being on Complexity. So see here, see what the stats are looking like again. And so, and mind you, Suppressed, great centering with his shot. But very, like, whenever I watched this shot, it was so fundamentally sound, almost reminded me of a formal type of shot. Great centering, great pacing, and simply hit them. Like, I feel like he was the main damage dealer for a lot of the teams that he played on, but it was never like super exciting gameplay. Like he's not gonna wow you with some crazy movement like Bat. Like no, he's just good fundamentals. Hit your shots. You put him in open space. He's gonna be able to win his individual pivotal battles, or at least the health engagement, forcing the enemy team to back down and just opening lanes for the rest of his team. Even though even though lots of times he wouldn't end as the kill leader for a lot of teams he was on, he would always end up as the main damage dealer. Cycle not too far behind the 164 with the 79 assists. Love that stat line. Jazeera and Tusk rounding us out here. And I want to see if this is going to be different in the ball carrying time or the flag carrying time. Let's see. Oh, sorry. So pretty balanced here. I would say suppressed a little bit behind with the ball carrying time. And then as far as the capture the flag time, let's see what we have here. And again, so it's almost identical of what we saw before, where Suppressed might be playing a very similar role that Septify did on the crew, and maybe that role might change as they go along. This might be the first scrim that they actually have played together in, so their role might change. But 30 and 33 pulls out of Tusk and Jazeera. My gosh, that's impressive. I'm excited to see where this complexity roster goes. In my perfect world, I would actually have Suppressed and Septify playing together. And I feel like you have those two as like your as like your slang anchors. I think that could have been actually crazy to have them both playing together on the same team. But you guys know I'm a huge fan of Septify. I'm a huge fan of Suppressed. I think they bring very similar qualities to the table as they're big damage dealers. And I'm excited to see where complexity go from here. But I'm also excited to see where XTSS go, because I just need the dark mode so bad. Oh, right. XTSS picking up Septify. By the way, Septify formerly teaming with Super CC Evades back on that Fnatic roster that we were talking about where Jazeera was on. They actually had a stint with each other, Swish and Mortally, again, high damage dealer. Super CC Evades a very similar playstyle to, like, I guess in my opinion, to like a Cycle, put damage, stay alive. Like Super CC tries to evade as much damage as possible. Swish, another player that high IQ, great in open space, has a really good shot. And then Mortally, who not only has the mechanics and the wherewithal to be able to contend with most teams, great IGL as well. When I played with them, he was that main IGL. I wonder if him and Swish are going to split play calls or how that's going to work, because I know they both have the ability to do so, but Mortally has a great mind for the game. He really does. So they scrimmed against Native White, and I see a lot of L's here, which, I mean, Native White are a damn good team. I see a couple wins, but Native White are a damn good team, and they're continuously getting better and better, because as this team is finally starting to play with each other, they're starting to reach the potential that we know they can be at. I'm probably gonna make a video about them sometime next week, because I'm excited to see where they go, especially during the qualifiers, which is we have the online, so from the 11th to the 14th, so 4 straight days of online playing to really test where all of these teams are heading into Charlotte, which is on the 24th. Sorry, do a little blank there. So this is usually whenever there's a roster move made, I feel like there's winners and there's losers. I feel like there's one team that wins almost every time, and there's one team that loses every time. And I feel like in this situation, there's no winner or loser. If obviously complexity, God, why is that so big? Obviously complexity made this roster move for a reason. Something didn't work out, or they thought Suppressed can come in and add more value. Either way, there's a reason for that, and I love Suppressed on the team. In the same breath, I love the fact that XTSS were able to pick up Septify, even though that meant dropping Husk, who's a phenomenal player, and I know that Husk's going to find a new home very quickly, but I think Septify rounds out the squad really well. I don't think there's a winner or loser in this situation. I think both of these teams are going to thrive together, and Suppressed and Septify are going to continue to be key pieces on their current teams. Now, the one question I have is when they match up against each other, who wins that out? I think it was not too long ago where I have XTSS with a 5-4 win over Complexity. So just a one out of 9 games, it was just a 1-game win over Complexity when these two teams matched up in scrims. Maybe they match up in scrims again. Maybe they match up in a qualifier. I'll leave that up to you guys. Who do you think ended up being the winner on this one? You like me, where I think both teams are going to thrive, or do you have a clear winner? Let me know in the comments down below. And make sure you subscribe, like, and any kind of engage with the video, because it really helps the algorithm, yada, yada, yada. And do the same on Twitch and on TikTok. Thank you so much, guys. Peace out.